All right, so thank you for that. You kind of teed it up. Lonely is the night if you don't have a good partner. Lonely can also be the programmatic world, right? If you're out there with all the stuff going on with, what are the things you complain about all the time? First-party data, leakage, SPO, multiple hops.
A lot of fun stuff going on in our space right now.
Yeah, cookie deprecation, right? All that stuff. But if you do have the right partner that, wait for it, performs, then the night can be quite wonderful, right? So we are going to go through this presentation fairly quickly. I'm going to give you a little bit of a background. So we are a contextual engine, a next-generation contextual marketing platform that enables leading CPGs to reach high-intent customers. So what do we mean about that in terms of actually connecting high intent? So as a background, John kind of mentioned it, a good portion of our company spun out of Yahoo about 7-ish years ago. We were in kind of a unique position. We had a bunch of roles across sales, ops, product, and properties. And at the time, you may not remember this, but Yahoo actually was one of the leading search engines. It also had a bunch of marquee properties like news and finance and sports, and had one of the leading DSPs out there. Is this one on, by the way? If I stand too close to it, I'm going to get revive. And so it really, we thought about, anybody remember Brightroll? Anybody use Brightroll back in the day? Yeah. So I oversaw the integration of that into Yahoo, right? So when we were leaving, we thought, what do we do well? What can be done better, right? And what opportunities exist for us to bring a unique thing into the market? And the first thing we did is we partnered with a company called Media.net. And what they are, for those of you that don't know anything about Media.net, is they're one of the largest and longest standing SSPs in the world. They've been doing it for about 2 decades. And they built their business almost exclusively on the publisher side, right? So helping pubs curate their content, monetize their sites, and they do one thing really, really well. They do a lot of things well. I don't want to blow up my partnership with them. But the thing that they're very exceptional at is extracting high intent from content, right? And so together we built this product in contextual search, and I'll kind of show you what this looks like, as long as this plays. Right, so you have an article and content. This one happens to be about best chicken recipes for kids that are fast and simple. As the user is scrolling through, the AI is actually analyzing, not just scraping the topics, but it's analyzing how that user is consuming the content. If there's images, it's analyzing the images. If a user then is presented with a set of related topics, the user clicks on that. We then first-party serve those ads within the publisher's environment. The user clicks on, in that case, it was a search ad. It went by quickly, but it was a text ad. And then we drop the user to continue their journey and pathing on the advertiser's landing page. So it happened fast, but a few things to note. This was the first of its kind in market. It really is about predictive algo. So as the user is going through, if you're pausing and it's taking that as a signal that you're digesting this particular piece of content. If you skim past something else, you're not really interested in that part of the content, right? So it's not just about topics. It really is about how the user's consuming the content and what that means, and then presenting those related topics. So you may end up with a different set of related topics than you, even if you're on the same content, because other users that look more like you interacted with content that looked like that, and then took subsequent actions downstream that were differentiated, right? And so as you provide those queries to users, you get a really strong intent signal back as to what the next thing that user wants to do after consuming that content, because they're explicitly telling you that by selecting which of the queries and where they're going, and then if they're going to interact with your ad or not, and then when they get to their landing page, what are the site actions they take? So we take an approach to really connect brand awareness to middle funnel consideration down to lower site actions, and we connect all of that through the contextual engine. So we've done that for about 7 years on the search side, pretty successfully. And then we started to think, where else can we apply this? Contextual high intent engine, and this is where Jeff comes in. We thought, well, programmatic could use some help, right? So taking the same approach, we expanded it kind of V2. You can see an article here, and you can jump in if you want on other content. But it's basically going to start analyzing topics on page. It's creating a content graph. So it's going to score, right, all of those topics on relevance and frequency, how they're related to each other. In real time, it creates the associations. It looks for images.
And just real quick, what you're seeing is it scrapes a page, it comes up with the keywords. Great, basic, a lot of contextual folks do that. This is where ours really begins. Because then we take that and it goes into a natural language model here.
Yep,
Sorry.
NLP. Yep, keep going.
And helping to identify what that article is actually about, not just that a keyword popped on the article. What is the article actually about? What is the language? We knowledge graph that out, which is great to identify those specific topics. But what it also does, it helps you find additional topics. So additional topics that you might not have been thinking about. And here, this one page derived 102 topics, right? So
right. With an index score to relevancy to the core topic and other related terms. It also scans for brand safety, so that's the sort of check on the right, make sure there wasn't any objectionable content there, because we are very much about curation and premium environments and brand safe. And then it creates an entity graph in the middle, and Jeff will tell you in a little bit like all the cool stuff you can do with.
And the scoring is all done based on propensity for a site action. So what that consumer is going to go about doing, and all brand safe.
Yep. And so that core high intent built contextual engine is what powers all of our products across our platforms, across search and programmatic, social, native. We have some social extensions. Take your media that's built in social and make that elsewhere work better. But again, at the heart of it all is that same industry leading tech. And really, it's when I say premium, what I mean by premium is a highly curated set of both advertisers and publishers that we bring together. We are a bit unique in that sense. It is a two-way street, just like you guys don't want to have your brand ads, out there on some tail site, 3 hops after 3 exchanges past the ad, and you don't know where the hell it's serving. The publishers don't want some shitty ad either, right? They want high-quality brands. So we don't work with everybody. We work with a select list of high-quality pubs. We work with a very high-end, set of advertisers in each vertical. We call them our anchor clients, and we try to create that because the pubs look to us to bring high-quality advertisers. And when you do it right, and you have, you match the tech with high intent with quality content from an advertiser in a premium environment on an endemic, you get a great user experience, right? And then that benefits everybody, so it's win-win-win. And that's really what we've created on the pub side.
Yeah, and it's kind of a different approach in that I was always a big proponent of who over where, right? I've been selling digital media for a long time, and it was always, who over where, regardless of, what site they're on, if they match our demo, if they match everything that we're setting up. And I've pivoted, and that's part of the reason I came on board. I'm relatively new. I've only been with Perform for since the beginning of the year. But I've really shifted to why. Not going to go all Simon Sinek on you, but why, in that why is a consumer on that site? And I believe why and that intent matters more than who or where. Because, Jeff Williams, drink Monster Energy. I live in Austin, Texas. I'm 46. I know, shocking, right? I look a hell of a lot.
Leo Polanowski, almost 50, only bourbon.
But I don't buy Monster because I'm this, right? I buy it because it's associated. I like the flavor, taste, product, all those things. And then I get reminded of it when I'm in my passion moments. And that's where, if you can go ahead, Leo, we'll get into the different media sides of it, but the passion moments for all of the brands in the room, those are where you want to be. Those are the things, whether it's Cardi B or, you're looking at music festivals or you're looking at gamers, things like that. Well, those passion moments are where consumers are going to be ingesting content, and that's where you're going to find them in an intent mindset. So we align brands to those moments. That's essentially what we're working to do. And we do that both search and programmatically. Programmatic, all of the table stakes, brand safety, human verified, tag verified, all of that. Again, we grew up as publisher tech, so we've been very tight with these publishers for a long, long time. And we have an exchange, so you can buy us in the open exchange. Many of you do. We appreciate that. Where the opportunity lies is getting into curated private marketplace deals, because you can then go in and really hone in on those moments. So, the easy ones for CPG, back to school, holiday, New Year, New You, all the themes that we tend to get behind. But really, on the contextual side, it's finding those interesting nuggets. Like for Nestle Purina, and they do a ton around any keyword dog type of topics, right? And we've got an example in here of taking it down to where it's not just targeting dogs, but we found an additional topic around 4th of July and fireworks. And when you think about dogs and fireworks, that's a big deal for dog owners. For those of you who are dog owners, getting those and reading up on aligning those topic moments with your brand has a positive connotation for consumers. So it continues to evolve, but those are the types of things and nuggets and insights that we want to bring to bear outside of the general kind of keyword-based topics. So the next one is probably the Purina. Yeah. So you can go one more. So on the programmatic side, again, all the table stakes, a lot of curated deals. It's noisy. Leo mentioned 10 topics right out of the gate. So it's not easy, but the solution doesn't have to be overly complex either. There's a lot going on, really, really smart people doing things in first-party data and ID graphs and things like that. But aligning those moments and kind of keep it simple, align to the moments that are going to matter to the consumers who are buying your brands. It sounds almost too simple, but it works. And we also do it in search. So you think of search, RMNs have been kind of a resurrection of search for CPG because of the sponsored search nature and being the first dollars you're going to spend with an RMN, but also out in the open ecosystem. Folks aren't going to Esquire and searching for Coke, right? So they might not be going to Esquire and searching for Coke, but they are going to Esquire to read about gaming and music festivals and things that they're passionate about. So it's finding those types of opportunities, again, in search to where you can own a moment and potentially provide more information if you want them to enter a contest or form fill, any types of content, things like that. The other way you can do it is it's highly performance driven. So how do we look at search, find those moments that matter, and then let's go amplify the hell out of it with our programmatic spend. So it's a way to kind of fine tune before you go megaphone. So great opportunity there. Lastly, the results. Strong click-through rates leading to good sales lifts and a decrease in our CPC. So you talk about ROAS. It's a great momentum. Sorry, anything? Nope. All right. With that, last slide here, just to get into flexibility. Made mention of our open exchange. We certainly have that available to tap into through your DSPs. We also do a lot of work in PMPs and then managed serve as well. So we've built this to be flexible. We're nimble, we're flexible, and we're here to help.
Yeah.
With that, thank you all very much.
Thanks, guys.